Hello everyone, my name is Luyanda KUBHEKA. My student number is 27383822. I'm doing an assignment for BPT1501. Assignment 6. Assignment 6 832472. I'm going to represent about the brain. My topic for today is about the brain. Here is my structure, the brain. Let's see. First of all, what is the brain? Brain is a complex organ that serves as the center of the nervous system in the body. They serve as a nervous system in the human body or in other animals' body, not all the animals. It is responsible for processing the senses information such as movement, thoughts, thinking, breathing, and managing the function of the body, thoughts, movement, emotion, and memory. Brain is made up of billion neurons. Brain is made up of billions of neurons. We got the different parts of the brain here. As you see my structure, this is the brain. We got a cerebrum in the white color here. I got a cerebellum in the black color here, and we got a brain stem in a brown color. As you see the brain on its own. Let's talk about the different parts of the brain. We got a cerebrum here in the black part, which is divided into two. It's in the left and in the right, the cerebrum. It is responsible for processing the sensor information for the brain and controlling the movement for the brain. And memory and emotion for the brain. Cerebellum, it's in the white part and it's located at the base of the brain. It controls the movement of the brain, and it also help the brain to balance and posture the whole body. It also tell the body that you have to balance now, you have to move now. It's the one that send message to the medulla of oblongata. Is the one that's control the brain. That's why it's located at the base of the brain. That's why it's here. So now we're gonna talk about the brain stem. The brain stem is connect the cerebrum with the spinal cord. This brain stem is connect the cerebrum, this part, with the spinal cord to the body. The function of brain stem is to tell the body that you have to breathe now. The heart rate and the blood pressure is the one that's control the blood pressure for the whole body. The importance of a brain healthy is to maintain the brain healthy, such as exercise, nutrition, and sleep. Brain is got diseases and disorder can affect the cognitive function, the cognitive function of the brain and behavior of the brain, and the overall function of the well-being of the brain. The disorder is a stroke, anxiety, depression for the brain. It causes the brain to have the disorder, anxiety, and stroke if you are thinking too much. Depression is a mood disorder that affect mood, that affects mood, motivation, and overall well-being of the brain. Infections such as meningitis can cause inflammation to the brain, to the whole brain, and damage the brain cells, and it can also damage the brain cells that can lead for the blood to not move very well to the organs of the brain. It can stop the blood to move to the organs of the brain. It cannot lead the blood to go to brainstem, cerebrum, and to the medulla of oblongata. It's gonna jam the brain to not think very well. How does the brain process information? The brain process information, thoughts, a complex network and nervous system to the brain. The sensors inputs of the brain. The brain receive information from a sensor's receptor such as eyes, which is not here, but it's the brain that's gonna send the message to the eyes, to the skin, to the ears. That's why the brain it's received the information from the sensor's receptor. Signal transmission. So the brain has got the signal transmission. The information is transmitted to the brain through electrically and chemically signal. That's why the brain is called is the big organ to the body, because it's the one that's send the message to the whole body. It's the one that's gonna tell the body that you have to move now, have to do something now. Processing. The brain interprets and process the information to the body. The brain can be able to store the short term and the long term to this part. Way to improve the brain function. It's a regular exercise. Improve blood flow to the brain, to the whole brain. We have to eat a healthy diet. We have to sleep enough hours, 7 to 9 hours per day, so that you can rest enough so that your brain can function very well during the day. It is very important to rest so that your brain can send the message to the body. And also the stress management. You have to manage the stress so that your brain can function very well. You have to exercise, like do the yoga things, like do the activity, do the breathe in, breathe out, so that your brain can function very well. Even if you see that you are not in a good condition, you have to rest. And before I close, brain it's a vital organ that play a big role in controlling the body movement, interpreting thoughts, emotionally information and behavior for the body. Brain is very important. If we don't have a brain, if you don't think very well, or when you got a stress, you won't think very well, you won't do a good things. That's why it's important to rest 7 to 9 hours per day, so that when you wake up in the morning, you're gonna think a straightforward thing. That's why it is important to do an exercise for every day so that you won't suffer when it's come to thinking. Thank you very much.